when you buy those things, they usually come with a sticker that says this unit will kill you, if you
If
don't have the right training and don't keep an eye on it.
All right, we got Jan here. Jan and I know each other from actually this year. We did a job together, and we were looking for somebody to do underwater video and photography, and Jan was the guy. And so we were lucky enough to have him on our set, and he was available, and we did this crazy swimming underwater shoot for these two Olympians, and it was a 2 day long wild shoot. As Jan knows, Jan was like living in the pool.
Yep,
So
yep.
welcome, Jan.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me. And I'm glad I met you on the underwater shoot. That was a
Yeah,
lot of fun, and
it
I love what
was.
what came out of it.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was the funny story about it, and I don't know if I told you this part, but when we first got the client, I was like, all right, we could probably do this. I mean, I'll just like get a water housing for our camera, and then I'll just like swim, and then like I'll catch my breath and then swim down again. And like I wasn't really thinking like bottom of the pool. I was just like, oh, it was a short pool, like probably 5 feet deep. We started to get into the creative, and I called um, the water housing company,
Gates.
Gates, and they
Yeah.
were like, "Oh, so you've never done this?" And I'm like, "No, no, like we've got the red. We're gonna put it in the water housing. You guys rent them, right?" And they're like, "Yeah, but since you've never done this, we don't recommend it." For like a lot of reasons. It was like for the camera, for your health and safety. I was looking
Yep.
at getting like an apparatus to like put on the top and like a little tube and like swim underneath. It was insane. So, I mean, after watching you do that, it was, I mean, you had like the whole scuba tank and everything. It's incredible. I mean, to see that all unfold, and it was very much useful for what we were doing.
Yeah. No, it ends up being a lot harder than it looks. I was just talking to a guy. He wanted to pick my brain about the same thing. He was like, "Oh, I've never shot in a pool. I got this underwater job, blah blah blah." And I kept telling him like buoyancy is so important. You're just gonna like as a photographer, you're like, "Oh, I'm lining this up," and I take the shot. Or when you're shooting video, you're like, I get on my one and then I make the move and then I stop. And like, yeah, that's easy on land, but underwater, like you're getting lined up and then you drift away.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, he found out the hard way that just the being underwater is actually not that easy. And then you have
Th-
the whole technical side of it. Like you're putting a raptor in a housing and you're all of a sudden you're risking a total of like 30, $40,000, you know?
yeah. Not a good
So
idea.
yeah, if you forget to like, you know, tighten up a port or something, all of a sudden you have a flooded camera.
Yeah, I mean that was massive too. And then like you were saying the different movements, you don't really think about that. You're like, "Oh, I can swim and like I'll just bring my camera." And like even if it's a DSLR, it's still a similar thing where you have to understand like how to move differently because it's a
Yeah.
different environment. What got you
And
into
you
all that stuff?
hmm?
What got you into like underwater?
um I got scuba certified like in 2007 and then didn't really do a whole lot with it. It was one of those like, we were we had a shoot in Aruba and I had a couple of days off, which usually doesn't happen on a shoot, right?
Right.
Um, so I was
Well,
like,
that's
okay,
nice.
cool.
Aruba.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I was like, sweet. I'm in Aruba. I got 2 days off. I'm gonna do a resort dive. And
Sweet.
a resort dive is basically you get some instruction in the morning. You hop in a pool and stick your head underwater with a regulator in your mouth to have that sensation of breathing underwater. And some people take right to it. Other people, like their throat just closes up and they're like, this is so unnatural.
Yeah.
And so I did a resort dive with them. We just went to like 20 feet or something the first day. And then the dive master was like, hey, you're kind of good at this. You want to come on this wreck dive with us tomorrow? I was like, sure. So No major training. Went on this wreck dive the following day, and then I was hooked. And I was like, I gotta get my certification. Um, did that, and then life and a lot of times you're just kind of like, oh, I'll dive on vacation. You become like this resort diver where you're or a vacation diver where you're just like you go for 10 dives a year
Right.
and you don't progress much. And I kind of fell into that. And then in uh 2019, 2018, we started to go to Mexico just for fun, vacation, and I did a cenote dive there. And that's almost like cave diving. It kind of feels like cave diving. And I was like, wow, this is like a different world. Every time somebody asks me like, why do you cave dive? I'm like, um, because you can go to another planet and you can fly, you know?
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's crazy
yeah,
in a
Uh,
cave.
yeah, it's just you like, and then when you apply that to filmmaking, you're like, you know, I can be a jib, I can be in that pool in Florida, and I can be on the bottom at 16 feet, and then I'll just take a breath, and all of a sudden I start rising,
Hmm.
and so you can make a move that way, and it's all like in how you breathe, and like on the bottom of the pool, inhale, and you start rising, and then you're like, oh, okay, I'm ready to slow down. You just exhale some, and then you stop, and the trick is to do that and to run the camera at the same time. That's where it's like your brain has to. You're like, okay, I'm going to do this with my breathing, but then I'm going to do this other thing with the camera, you know. Um, and that's where it looks easy, but uh, there's a lot going on upstairs, trying to like
Yeah.
nail all that.
Yeah, it, it's almost like, I mean, it's so specialty. It's like all the other specialty type of filmmaking where like people are operating machinery, jibs, whatever it is. It's like you're thinking about the environment. One, you have to survive, obviously, because you're
Yeah,
like that. I mean, that's big. You're underwater. But two, like you said, the movements is just so different. I think it's harder. Like you said, it's way harder than you think. Because when I
yeah,
watched you do it on the shoot, I was like, all right, like we were in a pool, it was controlled, but it was still like one thing that came up is you're like, oh yeah, I gotta shoot this shot longer because there's air bubbles.
yeah,
And so like that would happen. And like obviously you don't need air bubbles or want them in a shot unless that's preferred. But with what we were doing, it wasn't.
yeah.
So I think that's interesting too, is like thinking about these like small pieces that if you just jumped in and were like, all right, I'm going to do this shoot, you wouldn't think about all that stuff.
Yeah, and just things like when I first started shots looking up, I would exhale and some of the bubbles would like go under the mask, and I'd basically like get water into the mask, and then you just kind of get flustered, and then you hold your breath, then your buoyancy goes out the window, and so on. So it's like it's those little things that you learn to, like, I don't know, turn your head a little bit so the bubbles just don't go up your mask, or
Right.
make the mask tighter, or things like that. And yeah, like you were saying, you're sitting on the bottom of the pool and you're waiting for somebody to jump in, and you're like, well, I have to hold my breath, uh, so I don't have the bubbles going through the shot. Um, but I don't know when they're jumping in, you know.
Yeah,
So
I
like,
know. We were
how
trying to
long
like
am I going to hold
signal
my
to you.
breath? Yeah,
It
yeah,
was hard because like that was one thing I didn't really think about is like having some sort of signaling device
yeah,
in the pool or something to like let you know. We were just like raising our hand, like hoping you would see it. And
yeah. And then there's refraction, so I could like when I was in the position that I wanted to be in for the shot, I couldn't see you. I could see the athletes a
yeah,
little bit, but then I couldn't quite tell what they were doing. It was just like shapes and colors, you know.
yeah,
But yeah, no, I've since built an underwater speaker system
sweet.
that just comes in like a Pelican, 1510, one of those carry-on type Pelicans.
Yeah.
and it's the whole thing. You pop a battery on it, you plug the microphone in, and you hang the speaker in the pool, and then
Okay.
somebody could be up at Video Village and just do a countdown, and be like, okay, athletes on the block, and 3, 2, 1, boom, you
That's
know.
awesome.
Um, and I've wanted that before, like on other underwater shoots, and then after we did that one, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like really get into it and see what needs to happen to have a system like that on set.
Yeah, it's definitely, like I said, something when we were there, we're like, oh man, this would have been way needed. And
Yeah,
it's fine that we didn't. We made it work and the shots were awesome. And it was a crazy shoot. I mean, Jan was like living in the pool, like pretty much the entire day. We were there from like 7 a.m. till I think it was like 6 at night. And I think you jumped out of the pool a couple times just to like
yeah,
swap cards and batteries.
yeah,
But it was a pretty intensive shoot because we had to cover so much in like such a short span. But it was fun. We had a good crew,
yeah,
and
yeah. And it was
it
nice.
was
We did stills and motion, so it was like, what do we want on this? Oh, stills. Okay, let me have the stills camera. And then, oh, this
yeah,
one's motion. Boom. Let's do the red, you know.
yeah. We were
So
able to capture a lot more content than probably expected with that short amount of time. But I think it's because we had it all kind of dialed in. Like, okay, you're going to do this. I'll do the above water, and then we'll sort of like knock down the shot list as we go and leave things to the end. Like maybe we'll get them, maybe we won't. And I think we
mhm.
got everything we needed, which was awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I think there were a couple of shots that we had talked about wanting to get, but they were like icing. And, we just had so much to do. Like when you showed me the list of items that they wanted to cover, like all the wardrobe
Yeah,
changes, I was like, whoa,
I
we're gonna do
know.
this for both. And yeah, luckily
Yeah.
we didn't have to do everything for both.
Yeah, I think
Um,
when you get something like that, we find like a lot of clients when they reach out, they like want something that they think is possible. It's kind of like when I was going to try and like swim with the camera. It's like you want to do the thing that you think is possible and then you look back at it. Like pre-pro is so important with shoots like that, like trying to plan out the shots, figure out what's the most important. So that's what we did with them. Like, hey, what do you really, really need? And what would you like to have? Because this is way too much content in such a short time. But I don't think people realize that. It's not like they're trying to like over ask. It's just they don't honestly get how long it takes to get
yeah.
stuff. Like we had to set up lighting, we had to get you in the pool, we had to get the camera set up, like all of that stuff, and then do a little bit of testing because we're in a new environment, move some lights around, and then get athletes in and out of different um, swimsuits, and also stay true to like what we were trying to cover as like a story.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I think a lot of that stuff is the pre-production is the biggest thing. I think in most shoots for us at least,
Hmm.
but I mean, it's always a learning process. Like I'm sure you've seen that on like whether it's underwater or set, like you learn something every single time you are
Yep.
shooting. Doesn't matter if it's just stills or it's underwater. It's there's like always like a little thing like the speaker.
Yep.
Like, oh, this would be sweet to have next time. I don't think I've ever been on a shoot and been like, we didn't need anything else. There's always like, oh, you know what would have been great is like that extra
Uh-huh.
battery pack or like that portable charger or something. There's always something.
Yeah, yeah. Or you meet someone on set and you're like, they show you some doodad and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, shit,
Yeah.
there goes all my profit for this project because now I have to buy this thing because that is so
Yeah.
cool, you know?
Yeah. It's like show and tell. I mean, that
Uh-huh.
happens so much because there's like so much tech too. Like somebody will be like, oh, is that new lens? And you're like, yeah. Like, can I just test it out? You're like a
Uh-huh.
little kid sometimes. Like people have
Yep.
the newest equipment or they'll have like even like cable ties and you're like, that's the sickest thing. I need
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, it's always been it's always been a love of mine to be on set as much as possible. I think we were just talking before we started and like it's been a little bit slow in the
yeah.
past few months. And you said you've been around a couple places and seen the same thing from other people.
Yeah, I've heard it from some like crew in Charlotte, North Carolina, and yeah, some other crew people, and it's just yeah, everyone is just kind of like, it's kind of weirdly slow. It's like
What is it, you think?
I think it's all this uncertainty. It's
Yeah.
politics. It's like um, I think it started with sort of inflation and then interest rates shooting up because I mean they had
Yeah.
to like slow down and then stop inflation.
Yeah.
And now with all this tariff stuff, I think it's just there's just too much uncertainty. I know for myself, I've reduced my spending on equipment. Like you don't buy those lenses that you've been wanting to get, or
Yeah.
get this new camera body or something, because really at the end of the day, most of the time it's buying these like new things, the latest stuff is elective. And when business is good, you know, you spend the money, but then when things get tight, you're like, ooh, I better be a little more cautious here. And I think the big companies are doing that too. They're like that they can't borrow money for as cheap as they used to.
Mhm.
So they're like, hey, let's pump the brakes. Let's maybe see if we can stretch this ad campaign we did last year for another year. So then we don't get the call.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I think just this constant on again, off again, on again, off again with the tariffs is just really not helpful. I think that is the main reason, and then maybe some AI. You know,
Yeah. That
um,
stuff's crazy. Have you been doing anything with it?
just a little. Like
Yeah.
I basically I've been using ChatGPT to like replace um like what a Google search would be.
Mhm.
Because a few years ago, you would go on Google and look up whatever you're working on. Like
Yeah.
I replaced a light switch in my house that was acting up, and it was a three-pole light switch. So like you flip the switch over here, and then you walk across the room, and you can turn the light off across the
Yep.
room. And I hooked it up. Like when I replaced it, I hooked it up incorrectly, and then it's like, okay, now what do we do? I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure how this thing works. So you would do a Google search. Well, I asked ChatGPT, and ChatGPT was like, you know, this is
It's
what you're looking
amazing.
for. Do you want me to like give you detailed instructions? And I'm like, yeah. And
Yeah,
then
let's
it
do
was
it.
like, hook this up and that, I'm boom, boom, boom. And then it worked, you know?
It's
So
crazy.
it's like, I see these like, Instagram ads where like, oh, you're using AI like a 40-year-old. I'm like, yeah, I guess so. I am over 42, so
Yeah. I mean,
uh,
I think it's useful for that stuff though. Have you
yeah,
used it for
100%.
video at all?
I've tried a few times, like Sora,
Yeah.
or for images, and I I don't know. I'm like, it all has a look.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not really the look I'm going for. Like, I want to, and maybe that's just me, and like not giving it like good prompts. But I was like, I want to do a storyboard for an underwater spec piece we're looking at doing. And so I was like, oh, father and daughter in the kitchen, midday, kind of high key. And Sora just kept giving me these like sunset, sunrise type shots and just real cliche sort of looking stuff. And I'm like, that's not what I want. And I tell you high key, and anyone in
Yeah.
the image making business knows what that means. And yeah, the AI just was like, no, I want to give you this like cliche sunsetty looking stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's not useful to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure I just got to give it another try, um
Yeah, I
and yeah,
think
maybe work on my prompt game.
yeah, I think some of it is like understanding different ways to prompt. There's like so many different programs. There's like a new thing that comes out every day. I've been playing with a bunch of different ones and I do think the same thing. There's a lot of sameness. But I think it's cuz it's where we're at right now. And I think there's some people that are pushing like crazy stuff, but I don't know how they're getting to that level. I don't know if it's like prepping it. ahead of time, like getting it to a point where they can get it prepped. So like the prompt is more layered, or there's a lot of different like nuances about it. It it's interesting though because I've seen some stuff that's like incredible,
Yeah,
and then I've seen some VFX stuff that I think is really cool. Like I think that's kind of the cool space now is like if you go film a shot and you're like, oh, be great if we had palm trees in this. Like, there's no palm trees around here. We need palm trees near the beach or whatever to make it feel like Aruba.
yeah,
You can like, apparently, it's really easy to like swap out the background without doing green screen.
uh-huh,
I've never done it, but I've seen some videos where like people will just swap out the background and it looks real. It looks like a tropical background. So like you could be on the beach in Maine and
yeah,
take out like the rocks and then put like palm trees. So I think that's kind of cool.
yeah,
Like, especially if cost can't get you to the place you need to be. Or, like you said, if you're doing a pitch film or like
hmm
a storyboard, I think that's cool because you can showcase what you're trying to do. But the
yeah,
problem is if it doesn't come out the way you're looking, like you want high key and it doesn't do high key, it's not helpful.
yeah, yeah. So that's what I've run into, but um, yeah, I'm I'm sure there's a way of getting to it, and I think there's like a good place for AI for sort of repetitive stuff. Like I just saw an AI app that basically would be your assistant editor. You know, you go
Hmm.
out and shoot a bunch of interview, A roll, and then you shoot a bunch of B roll, and you just need, well, you can just sit there and call through it,
Right.
or you could have the AI do it. Like years
Yeah.
ago, I did a tourism job in Jamaica, and we shot like 15,000 stills. And
Jesus.
these were like, a bunch of different scenarios. So it wasn't just like the same thing and you had 15,000 shots.
Right.
And it took me 4 days to go through them and
Yeah.
reduce all that down to like 1,000 shots or 500 shots or something. And, if if you could use AI for that to just do all that culling, um, yeah, that's super helpful. You just gotta, you as a the artist, you have to get to the place where you trust the AI to not get rid of some shot that is like amazing, you
Right.
know, because you didn't feel like sitting there making yes or no decisions for 4 days.
Yeah. I think
Um,
you'll be able to like train it at some point. But like
this is what I
the
like.
the assistant editor, like maybe because there's a guy who did I forget what the program's called, but it basically is for mostly like getting things done, like email and everything else, and it
Yeah.
watches your screen and it learns your like for a week, it learns how you do things, and then it actually can do a lot of those things to help you. So
Uh-huh.
like whether it's like answer emails a certain way or maybe you have to do a bunch of like booking and calendar stuff. So it learns all of that. So I wonder if somebody will do like the creative version where it like watches you for a week, edit and understands like how you organize your folders or whatever. And then
hmm
it maybe learns like why you like certain photos. Cause that
Yeah.
could be really great. It's like you said, it saves you 4 days of just picking the stills.
Yeah, and a lot of it is like yes and no. Like I think that that time I would do like 5 stars for like a winner because you can look at them and you can just be like, oh yeah, that's a great job, you know.
Yeah.
But then you don't want to like throw all the other shit out right
Right.
away. So you're like, oh, that's a 2 star. And then you whittle everything down, more and more and more and more. So you look at all the photos multiple times, you know,
Yeah.
just to make sure. And that just, I don't know. I think there's a better way of doing that.
Yeah.
And
I think
then
so too.
years later, I just got into the like, if you see a shot and you feel something, like it's a 5 star, and then you move on, and
Yeah.
and don't do this reductive thing, um, because it's just, yeah, it just takes too much time when you're looking at the same shot multiple times and making the same decision. And that's
Yeah.
definitely where AI could be like, oh, I see what you like, I and compositionally or lighting wise, this is what you're responding to, I think. Boom,
Yeah.
here you go.
Yeah, and maybe it doesn't get rid of the other ones. It's sort of like does the 2-star thing. So like
Yeah.
you could always go back because there's a program for like phones now where it helps you delete duplicate photos and it also helps you delete possibly unwanted photos.
Hmm.
And it's not necessarily AI, it's just like an app that somebody created where you like swipe when you don't like a photo, when you like a photo, that kind of thing. It detects duplicates. And then at the
Uh-huh.
end, it shows you like the 40 that you deleted or are going to delete. And then you look at them and say, yep, yep, yep. So it gives you like a second chance,
Okay.
which is so maybe that's useful for like looking at editing photos. But do you ever get rid of photos? Like if you do 15,000, yeah, see, like I
Uh,
don't, people
they're
ask me that all
somewhere,
the time.
you know.
Yeah. They're like, hey, when you shoot 3 terabytes of footage for that shoot, like do you clear some of it off to like save space? I'm like, no, because what if
No,
you clear the wrong thing? Like that's what I
exactly.
worry about. You like
Yep.
get rid of the interview that you were supposed to have. I
Yeah, or somebody like years later, a couple years, a
want something.
year, 2 years later, is like, "Hey, remember we did this shoot?"
Yeah.
And then you can be the hero and still have the stuff, or you know, you deleted it, and then it's like, "No, sorry, I don't have it." Like a lot of times, the expectation is not there. Like you still have stuff years later, but um, I mean, what are you gaining? Like a few bucks in hard drive space?
Right.
Like no.
It's
Um,
it's not really worth it.
yeah, I mean, really, the worst part is like being able to find it, like having it
True.
all organized enough to where you can just put your finger on like, "Oh, this is where the shot is." And, a buddy of mine actually redid his whole archive with some AI help from AI and had everything keyworded, and now
That's
you can just
sweet.
do a keyword search, and that's, like, nice.
That's
Um,
incredible.
but I think he spent weeks, pulling all that together and getting it all put in one place, like for the random little lacies that you have laying around. And
Yeah.
oh, there's a SanDisk over here, and is that like the master, or is that a copy?
Yeah. Like, is this
Um,
the newest project file or the older one? It's
yep,
labeled new version 2.
yeah,
You're like,
final,
I don't
final,
know.
final.
Final. Yeah. We have that all
Yeah,
the time where like we're like, oh, this is it. And then the client changes something like 5 months later and we're like, oh, this is the 2026 version 2 because like we thought it was over.
yeah, and it
So
made sense at the time, and now you're like, which one is it? Is that the right
yeah.
one?
Yeah.
And
The
yeah,
the AI archiving footage would be cool though, because it would be great if it could detect things. Like it wouldn't delete anything, but it would like keyword stuff. I bet somebody's either done that or is working on it because imagine you just plug a drive in. It would take hours probably, but you would just plug it in. It would read through it and it would like recognize faces and be like, okay, this is the same person. And then it
hmm,
puts them in like a folder. And then same with B roll. It's like, oh, this is all people walking down the beach, or these are all people scuba diving, and it puts them all like that would be sweet. Like a
yeah,
pre editor, almost like, but then like tagging it. So in case later on you're like, I need a shot of somebody on a boat in Aruba, and you just type those keywords in and it just pops up. That would
yeah.
be awesome.
It should be possible. I know. I mean, you take a picture with your iPhone right now, and it's like, hey, there's a dog in this,
Yeah,
and
true.
like right away as you took the shot, and it's like, boom, there's a dog,
Yeah,
So, um, yeah, and I know large corporations that have like their image libraries. They do have like keyword stuff where you can just be like this machine in this location, you know. Um, I used to do a lot of work with John Deere, and that's like totally what they would do is like before you submit the files, you had to like keyword everything. And if AI can do that, that'll make your life so much easier because you can just be like, I need this mower XYZ and this location in the front yard, you know,
yeah,
because you're the guy that's like putting a brochure together, or you know, like some sort of like video piece, and you
yeah,
don't have to like go through a massive library to find it. Um,
yeah. Hours of it. It'd be cool if it like clipped it out like pre editor style too. So you could actually get those clips separated. So like when you were
Yeah.
pulling stuff, it wasn't the long, like 30-minute clip that you still had to go through.
Yeah, and then like find a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talked to these guys recently. One of them went to college in Boston. I forget where the other one's from, but they're out in San Francisco and they worked on this program that they got funding for, and it does AI detection and keywording for sports.
Uh-huh.
So like basically like any ESPN footage, anything like that, you'd put it in there and it would say, okay, this is Steph Curry taking a 3-pointer off access from the left side of the court. And like it like labels all of those things. So if they're looking for that exact shot, they can find it. Or like
Yeah.
somebody dribbling a ball or doing a dive, they can like pinpoint the exact thing they did at the moment. It was like the one that scored the 10 or whatever. So it's
Hmm.
not sifting through random footage. And I guess it's doing pretty well because it's like that's big for sports. Like the guy who scored the goal in the last like 2 seconds wearing a yellow jersey or whatever, like understanding all the different nuances in sports film.
Yeah.
So that was a cool use case for it. I don't really know what other spaces are going to get like completely taken over, but video seems, I mean, at least like what we do, like with real people, seems like most people are still going to want like real storytelling with real people in it. And maybe you'll get some B-roll clips where you'll create them AI because you need a certain shot.
Hmm.
But I don't see it taking it. Like some people are like, oh, it's going to take everybody's filmmaking job.
Yeah. Like I know for myself, I always feel like I need to be a little bit more open minded about AI, but I always feel like if you're trying to sell me some kind of product,
Hmm.
and you're trying to convince me that it's like this is the perfect whatever it is, like if I see an AI trying to do that, I'm like, yeah, whatever. You're
Mm.
AI, you know. But if it's
What
another
if you can't
person,
tell? What if you
huh?
can't tell?
I
What if you
know.
can't tell?
Um,
I mean, some of it's really good. Like, I guess the
yeah,
top Instagram person who's made like the most money the past 2 years has been fake.
AI.
Yeah.
Hmm.
A venture capitalist company owns him or something. She
Okay.
makes like $1 million a month off product stuff.
For like, and she is not real.
100%. And nobody
Yeah.
knew it until they announced it.
Wow. Yeah, like I've been seeing on Instagram, I've been seeing like Verizon ads pop up, and I'm not in the market to like switch cell phone providers, but still it's like it looks like AI, or the Coca-Cola commercials
Yeah.
that were totally AI. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like I
Yeah.
don't care, you know? Um so yeah, hopefully like AI is not going to make all of us obsolete anytime soon, but I think using it for uh sort of the not busy work, but the stuff that's not really that fun,
Yeah.
and have it
Exactly.
automate that. That's that'd be nice. Like right now I'm a couple of my friends and I, we filmed a documentary about pigeons.
Oh, yeah. You were
uh
telling me about that.
yep, and we're like in the post process now, and I'm doing the audio, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, oh, be nice to have like the sound of pigeons like in a coop right here.
Yeah.
And then sound of pigeons flying past us, in a specific way. Like they come at us, they go past us, and then they disappear. Um, and I'm pretty sure it's somewhere on
Hmm.
that, 18 terabyte drive. It's just like, how are you going to find it? And
Yeah.
I'm right now I'm looking at just like making a list of the things I want to get and then just recording it.
Right.
But if I could have AI just listen to everything and then be like, hey, you got a bunch of like cooing over here and flapping over there, shit, then we
Yeah.
don't have to go out and record it again. But
You
if
just
I
need the
spent
audio.
hours and hours listening to all that, I may as well just go record the exact thing that I need.
Yeah. Is it just the audio that you need?
Yeah, yeah, and
I
I mean,
think that I think you could get it done. whether you want to do it or not, I think AI could actually do it. Like if you needed those
Do
little
the
sound
sound.
bites. Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's a program called 11 Labs, and it's
Okay.
all it does voiceovers. It does music. I did a
Uh-huh.
song the other day from one prompt to see what it was like, and it's pretty incredible. And so I think you can do like sound effects and be like, I need pigeons flying by on my right side. I think it will be able to do it. I have never tried it, but I know that people are doing stuff like that because there's these like micro things people need. Like you
Yeah.
just need a few final touches. Yes, you could hire somebody. Yes, you could go do it yourself, but those cost money and time. And maybe you just need to get it out the door. So, I mean, I think using it a little bit to help as a tool, I
Yeah.
don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah. I wonder
I
what the
don't know.
copyright situation is for that. Um, but
So
yeah,
there's,
I guess that would be the big question. Like if you're making a feature film and you plug that kind of stuff in, is it kosher? You know, from a
I think
copyright
it,
perspective.
I don't know 100%, but I do know that there's this like gray area still with using AI and like getting it copyrighted. I think if you have the original, since you like have a film you're making, most of it is original, and
Yeah.
then you're adding in these tones. I think it's fine. It's
Yeah.
when you go straight up all AI and no human really in the loop. So like if you just hit a prompt and it made the whole film,
Yeah.
you can't actually consider that your property unless you wrote the story, filmed a little bit, and then filled in pieces. I think right now that's what it is. You can't create a character like
Yeah.
through an AI image and then own the IP,
Yeah.
which makes sense.
It's like those videos of the Sasquatch that are going
Yeah,
around on Instagram, and he's like out boating, getting drunk, smoking weed.
it's crazy. It's entertaining, I guess. And I
Yeah.
mean, that's kind of what a lot of social media has been recently is like entertainment. So if that's what people are using it for, like even Coca-Cola, great. Like it's funny. And maybe
Yeah.
we'll see some like Super Bowl commercials that come out of it that are leaning that far, like where it's like, oh, it's a shark that's like drinking Coca-Cola and like swimming in a pool. Like no one's going to be like, oh, I hate this because it's AI, because that would be animation anyways, which is
Yeah, and
created
then
by
it like
people, but
it sort of moves into the cartoon world where,
right,
you know, you like, that wasn't real to begin with, you know.
right. But
Um,
then people will argue that, but somebody created it.
yeah.
It's that one's tough too because you when you watch a Pixar movie, I mean nowadays I don't watch a Pixar movie and think, "Wow, it's incredible how good the graphics are." Not usually. I'm
Yeah.
usually like, "Wow, this story is pretty good." Like
Yeah.
or the dialogue's really good, which is still human. And so I think that part is all like you always have to understand story or how to
Mhm.
script or why somebody is doing something for a while at least. I don't think AI is going to be able to do that because we have real experiences with real people that we create content off of. And I think
Yeah.
that's what the upper hand is just like understanding how to craft a story or why a film is being created the way it's being created.
Yeah.
Um with your pigeon documentary, why pigeons?
It started out as a DP friend and I, we just wanted to shoot some stuff.
Yeah.
And our friend of ours, the producer, he keeps pigeons. You know,
Okay.
he breeds them, he rescues some, and then he also races some pigeons.
Okay.
And so we were like, hey, we just want to come over and shoot some cool shots at your loft. And you know, it was 1 day, then 2 days, and the producer Nick, he likes to he's a storyteller, and he was like, hey, let's make like, you know, a short film out of this. And then we just kept shooting and building stuff, and at some point we're like, wow, shit, we've got hours and hours of footage, let's grow it, you know.
Yeah.
And so now it's like right around an hour 30, hour and 40 minutes.
Oh, sweet.
um And yeah, we've gone, like, we went to Utah for it. We did
This
a
is
few days in
awesome.
Paris.
Okay.
And it was just like it
Dedication.
mhm. Oh yeah, it was like it's a, it's a passion project.
That's
And I was
awesome.
like, I was going to Germany to visit my dad, and Nick and this other guy Evan were like, hey, what if, this is just something stupid. What if we shot in Paris?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm already over there. I'd just hop on the train and I'd be in Paris in a
Yeah.
few hours. And then it sort of materialized, and then I was like, okay, we're doing this. Um,
That's awesome. And
so we shot in
when
Paris
you
for 3 days for the film.
when you're doing
Uh,
something like that, does it feel more rewarding because it's like a passion project? Because you're like putting in all this time and you're interested in creating something? Because like I find myself with all the work that I've done in the past, like some stuff's been amazing. It's been great. Other stuff, it's like, mundane, boring stuff, but like got to pay the bills. And
yeah.
then I tend to lose touch with like why I got into it in a way. Like I'm like, all right, another day shooting, more interviews, more talking heads, whatever it is. Does this project get you like feeling like, I don't know, like excited to create again? Is that kind of something you get out of it? Or is it more just like, something to do?
No, definitely gets you excited to create again. And the project itself had like its ups and downs, and sometimes I was just kind of like, uh, I'm not really digging like this part of the story.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like you're going to the gym, and you're staying fit.
Yeah.
And I was also doing, because we had like no money, I was doing the majority of the audio, or really all of it. And so that was great for me. And like I like that challenge of like
Right.
upping my audio game, like
Yeah.
at one point I had I mic'd like 6 or 7 people.
Okay.
Um I'm not in love with the scene, but I was just kind of like, that was a big audio day,
Yeah.
to
It's
have all
cool when
these
you get to,
people mic'd up. Yeah, and then also
yeah.
you learn stuff. Like I learned a
Right.
lot about lavalier placement and what works and what doesn't. And uh, our main character, I would try to put a wireless pack on his belt on his back, but
Yep.
something about his anatomy, he kept popping the pack off. I guess it was just his rock hard, butt. He kept popping the wireless pack off. So we were like, what do you do? And I know audio
Yeah.
guys know all this, but I was just kind of like, well, how do we deal with this? And then with him in particular, it was like, oh, we're gonna just put the wireless pack on his ankle, you know.
Okay.
And I've seen audio guys do it, but I've never done it. So
Yeah.
this pigeon project was like great for that sort of stuff, to be challenged and see what works, what doesn't, and then come up with solutions. Um, and yeah, like, and the other part with it that was fun for me creatively was that I would look at all these little things that you can buy in the audio world, like what is it called? Oh, a concealer.
Hmm.
And they make all different kinds, and I was like, well, I wonder if I could just 3D print that.
Yeah.
So I just designed a concealer. I have some filament that has sort of a rubbery kind of quality, and
Hmm.
like you can use it to print tires for RC cars, or anything that you need to be flexible but have some structure to it. The stuff TPU is great for that. So I was just like, oh, I'm just going to print some concealers out of TPU. And yeah, I like tinkering around like that, and
Yeah.
figuring things out. And you go print something, and then if it works, great. If it doesn't, you know, you maybe you wasted like 5 cents of filament. So
Right.
big deal.
But you're learning. And like you said, I think tinkering, it's definitely like a creative thing where you like, you want to learn how to like build something that like you could just go buy. And maybe
Yeah.
it's only like $5, but it's more of the process of building the thing, or like the same with the lav pack. Like, yeah, you could look it up online, whatever, but you could also just like kind of work with it, figure out what's going to be the best placement, why, or like when you're on a shoot, you see the audio guy do it. Cause that's what I do. I like
Yeah.
see like like a gaffer doing something or like an audio guy doing something. I'm like, why are you doing that? They're like, oh, because of this and this. And you're like, okay, like store that up here.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to
Yep.
remember that when I have no budget or whatever it is. Cause that happens for us too, where it's like, we got a spec we're shooting, and we have to do a lot of the things that we don't know as well. And audio is definitely one of them. It's
Yep.
cool. The audio world's cool. It's just, there's a lot of the lav mic thing is so tough, like hiding it, making sure it doesn't rub against their clothes. Like I've spent hours watching YouTube videos on like,
Uh-huh.
I have a bunch of the little like concealers, and then I have some of the little like, I don't even know what they're called, but they
Like the little,
basically,
like mini dead cats, like little fur
yeah,
type things.
yeah, and like
They were great.
you place them a certain way because they rub on like people's clothes, or like it's cool to learn a lot of those things, because then even when you're on a bigger set, you can contribute
Hmm.
if you had to, where you could be like, oh, we're having a problem with this. You're like, oh, okay, like I think maybe let's do this. And like, so you can actually like help contribute to other pieces of creating the video or the
Yep.
photography.
And you're better with the lingo.
Yeah.
Sometimes you run into situations where you work with a client and they think they know the lingo,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, okay, cool. They know what they're talking about. And then you just kind of run with their instructions. Like we had a
Yeah.
project where I was photoshopping a bunch of stills, and we got done with them. We were like, these look great. Let's send them to the client. And then the feedback we got was uh, too dark, too contrasty. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. Like that, like we thought it looked great, but that's preference. So, okay, we'll
Yeah.
make it lighter, less contrast. That happened like 4 or 5 times when we got to the point where we were like holding our noses and we're like, this looks like crap. Like we can't send
Yeah.
this in. This is terrible.
Yeah.
And then I had this bulb go off and I was like, how are you, the client, how are you looking at this? Like, what kind of computer are you looking at on or whatever? And he's like, oh, I print them out at the office. And we're like, on
Mm,
what? And it was like
yeah.
a 3-color desktop printer. Like he sent
Yeah.
us
Like,
the prints and we're like, there's no way. This is a multi-million-dollar agency. And we're like, you're
yeah.
doing what with this? So then from that point on, with this particular client, we're like, we are printing these out and we're sending them to
Yeah.
you. Like we're overnighting you the prints. Because no, like this isn't
Yeah.
like we can't work like this. And so yeah, if you know the lingo, you can just be like, you can speak with authority, when you're trying to work out a problem like that, and you know what contrast means, what texture is, all those things. And I know all that in like the image making world, and I'm learning it in the audio world. But it's like, what's a tack, and
Yeah.
what's a wet mix, and this and that, and so it's kind of fun to learn that new lingo.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, then you can ask for things. Like if somebody's mixing for you, you could be like, ooh, I think we need to do this. And they're like, okay. Versus
Yeah,
being like, it's very quiet. And they're like, okay, well, what's quiet about it? Or like whatever. I hear a lot of noise and this, and it's
yeah.
nice to know like at least some of the technical terms. We've had that problem too with clients where they'll like view a video inside Dropbox, and it's like,
Oh
just,
no.
like
Oh.
download it. You're like, just download it. Cause like
Yeah.
frame links didn't work for them. So you have to go a different route. Um, it's amazing. Like I think people just need to, maybe they don't think they need to be transparent, but they should be.
Hmm.
So I don't know if it's something that you talk to your client ahead of time, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know for myself, if I don't understand the language, then I'll just be like, about I'll talk about feelings or how I want something to feel.
Mhm.
Like let's say with audio, I'm like, hey, I want this to feel like they're in the room with me, and then they're like walking down the stairs into a basement. but I'm
Yeah.
staying in the room, so they like walk away from me. I
Yeah.
don't know how to express that in the proper terms as far as like the audio world, but I can talk about that, and then whoever is the audio engineer can interpret that and be like, "Oh, I know what you're talking about. You want the EQ to do this and that when he leaves the room."
Yeah.
Like the perspective. I learned that from an audio guy that audio has perspective. You like there's somebody right in front of you, or they're on the other end of the room, or they're in the basement. That's all perspective. Um, and I was like, when he told me about that, I was like, oh, this makes so much sense. That if you put a lavalier on someone, but they're 100 feet away from you, it feels weird because the
Yeah.
perspective isn't right. Because you
Yeah.
would never hear someone 100 feet away, but they're like in your head. You know.
True.
Um, so that's just yeah, all that is just fun to learn. Um,
Yeah.
so the pigeon movie was great for just trying new things because it started out as just like a gym session, just use the gear, figure things out that work for you and that don't. And then it just kind of grew into this film. Um, but yeah, I think we all learned like a lot of lessons.
What are you most excited about coming up for you? Or do you have anything like a passion project or something that you're working on? Or are you trying to like, or is there something that you haven't done yet in your career that you're like, I have to do this. This is something that I'm working towards.
Well, we're finishing the pigeon thing. So we still have several months to go with that. Um, and that's fun to just kind of get my head into the post world on the audio side. Um, we're also looking at doing a spec piece um, with an underwater element because
Cool.
I really enjoy the underwater stuff. I've been doing a lot of uh, training in Mexico that doesn't directly relate to, let's say, Olympic swimmer,
Hmm.
commercial kind of shoot, but you learn things and you get experience from that training that makes you a better diver for projects like that.
Yeah.
Um, and even if it's just staying calm, you know,
Yeah.
uh, underwater, your breathing affects your buoyancy so much that if you don't get freaked out about something because you're like, oh my God, I'm drowning or something,
Yeah.
then that helps you in a commercial shoot where you can just be super chill because whatever is going on, it's not, challenging you too much. Especially the whole brain thing where you have to like focus on how you breathe, yet you also have to frame the shot properly and then talk to the talent at some point. And
Yeah.
so yeah, that training I've been going to Mexico, Tulum to become a cave diver at first, and then got into rebreathers. Like I did a tri dive with a rebreather, and I was totally hooked.
What's
Uh,
that?
it's normal scuba diving is basically you have a cylinder on your back,
Yep.
and there is like a gas in it. When
Okay.
you start out, it's usually air, which is
Hmm.
79% nitrogen and 21% oxygen. And then if you want to stay under longer, then usually people sort of move up to nitrox, which is 32% oxygen. And then but with open circuit, it's always like you inhale and then you blow the bubbles out.
Right. Okay.
And usually what you exhale has still 16% oxygen in it. So you're like, oh, I could have usused that, It's not quite
Okay.
enough what your body expects. Your body expects 21, but you've thrown away that 16% oxygen. So what a
Dang.
rebreather does is you exhale, it goes through a canister or two on your back, and it scrubs out the CO2 that you exhale,
Okay.
and then it adds a little bit of oxygen back into it. So
Damn.
the gas you're exhaling just gets recirculated,
Okay.
scrub out the CO2, add oxygen. And you have a computer that tells you what's going on in real time. and then you have
Damn.
some buttons on your system that where you can like add oxygen if you need it, or lean it out a little bit, but you're basically flying that rebreather as you go.
Is that
Some systems
scary?
are like electronic, and they have like little solenoids that take care of that stuff for you. But then
Okay.
that it, it it's kind of like cruise control in your car. You're like, it's nice for most of the time, but sometimes you're going up the hill, and then all of a sudden the car is like flooring, and you're like, whoa, that's not
Yeah.
what I
Okay.
wanted, right?
Okay.
So those electronic rebreathers sometimes do that kind of thing where they're like add gas or take it away when you don't expect it, and then all of a sudden your buoyancy is a mess. This one is mechanical, and you have to like keep an eye on it more than the other systems. Um,
That
I
seems
love it.
crazy. That seems
Uh,
so crazy. You're like already under the water, already out of your element, and then you're like, I gotta look at this computer. Do I have enough oxygen? Are we good? You're like underwater, so you've got to figure that all out. I guess
yeah,
it's
and
like
you
a
just have
certain
to
type
keep an
of
eye on it
person.
because I mean it's not without its dangers. You can
Right.
when you buy those things, they usually come with a sticker that says this unit will kill you, if you
If
don't have the right training and don't keep an eye on it.
but it allows you to carry less weight. Is that what it is? But
You can
like
just
stay under
stay
longer.
you can stay under for forever. Like in with my particular setup, the limiting factors are the scrubber and the oxygen cylinder that I have. It's like a little
Hmm.
one. It's like 2 liters.
Okay.
Um, and those limit me to um, scrubber 6 hours. The oxygen is about 5 hours. But I could stay underwater for 5 hours, never come up. Which
Damn.
in open circuit you would have to bring so many cylinders. It also depends on like how deep you go, but you would have to bring so much stuff.
Right.
Um, that it's just you must really want to go wherever you're going to
Okay.
deal with all that gear. Like when I just was in Mexico, we did like our last dive in a training on day 5 was like a 3 hour and 14-minute dive.
Damn. Because it was
Nonstop.
so deep, or was it just like you were going different
Um,
caves?
well, we did a bunch of drills, and then also it was just deep and far. We did about 700 meters into the cave. You had
Holy
to come back
shit.
700 meters. Um, we're
700
about
meters.
we're about 30 feet deep. So 700 meters is almost a half mile. Um,
Damn. Was it inside a
so
cave the whole time?
yep, yep.
Nope.
Yeah, you
All
just
set with that. Not trying to go into a cave even like 5 feet. You're going
you're
half a
going like
mile. Is it
yep.
tiny or is it like a bigger one?
Parts of it, like that particular
Jesus.
one wasn't super small. Um, I don't really chase the really small stuff, not right now.
Yeah.
Some people
No.
are really into it. I'm like, I've got enough to do
Holy
with like
shit.
staying calm. Uh, with everything that's going on. I don't need to be like wedged into a hole somewhere.
So what's the
Although, like
coolest thing? What's the coolest thing about like being in one of these caves? Like why go in a cave? Like
you
I
can
don't
fly. Like
I don't know, man.
that's really the thing.
Sounds
It's
so
like
sketchy.
you like imagine some Ridley Scott like space movie,
Okay.
and you see the spaceship just flying through this world. Um,
Okay.
you're the spaceship. You know.
Got it.
I don't really think about, hey, I'm underground in this cave. I
Okay.
think that would freak me out a little bit. So most people you talk to about it, that's their feeling. They're like, "Oh my God, no." And I think
Yeah,
if I
that's my
really thought
feeling.
about it, I'd kind of maybe have a similar reaction.
Okay.
Um,
So
Sometimes
what do
when
you
I
think
drive
about?
to the cave, I'm like a little nervous here, but then once you're
Yep.
in it, you're just kind of like, "Wow, this is cool," you know?
I guess that's yeah, like overtakes. Like you're just like taking in all the scenery and you're like, this is unreal. Like this is an experience that not many will do because most people stop at the car ride and they're like freaking out. Like that's what I would do. Like I've never even been diving before. It looks fun, but I already freak out. Like if I'm going under the water, I'm thinking sharks. I'm thinking everything else that could go wrong. So I don't know that I would be good at diving. Like, do you ever think about sharks? I'm
No,
sure you.
because like where I dive. there aren't any sharks. Um, I'm not really good with like big ocean.
Okay.
I don't like having thousands of feet of water underneath my feet, and all I see is my fins and then the
Nope.
blue abyss.
All set.
Um, I don't know. That freaks me out. A good friend of mine he works a lot for Nat Geo or BBC, like the
Hmm.
natural history type stuff. He's like the opposite. He loves the big blue. Would never in a million years stick his head in a cave, you know. And why that is, I don't know. Like it just freaks me out to just have this abyss underneath me.
Totally.
Maybe it's a fear of heights or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Um,
guess you probably
but
get that feeling when you're in there, like there's nothing around you, so you do feel like you're up in the air or like
just
you're just
yeah, really
high above
vulnerable. Yeah,
something. Yeah.
and that can sometimes happen in Mexico in the cenotes because the water is so clear. I mean, it's like tap water, and so you can be in some like there's one called the pit, and it's like 130-ish feet down to like the first mound, and then it goes
Okay.
down to like I remember 300-400 feet or something.
Damn.
Um, and that one can be kind of freaky because you're so high up. You know, you're in the water, but you're still like, whoa, this is a long way down. And
Yeah.
for a moment there, you can just be like, this is kind of scary. uh,
Yeah.
whereas if you were just like close to the rocks the whole way down, you're like, oh, this is not bad. I'm like 8 feet from this rock, you know.
How do you get over
Um,
that? Like while you're
just
under the
do it.
water? Like if
Just do it.
just
Like,
do it. No.
or go to like a happy place, like get closer to the
Yeah.
rocks. Like if you feel better being closer to something, just do that,
Just do
you
it.
know.
Okay.
Um, but no, it like I had a time there where that sort of stuff would really freak me out, and now it's like, no, it's okay.
Yeah. Do you bring
Um,
a camera every time you go or not every time?
uh, I used to bring it a lot, and then I started to do more and more like cave training, and then that sort of took priority. But really, the goal for me is to get to a place where I can, bring the camera. Um, that's like the next step. You were asking like, what's the next thing? As
Yeah.
far as the diving, I want to do a lot more filming in the caves. So there's the whole lighting aspect of it. You
Right.
kind of need a team to just light the place up with you,
Okay.
and then also uh, being able to like run the rebreather and the camera
True.
all at the same time. It's just mentally quite the challenge. But that's sort of that's what I'm working on now is to become the rebreather is so second nature that I can then focus more on the camera. Because
Yeah.
when you're just focused on like changing settings on the camera, you're not paying attention to what your rebreather is doing.
Yeah. Which would be
And
dangerous. Very
yeah,
dangerous.
it kind of depends. You have to figure out where can this thing bite me and where doesn't it bite me. Like if
Yeah.
you're at a set depth, you can look away for a little bit and not
Yeah.
get into major trouble. But if you're in the process of like surfacing or you're in shallow water with a rebreather, you really have to be careful.
Okay.
Because that's where you can get into a situation where you're not getting enough oxygen and then it's just lights out. With
Damn.
like no warning really. Um,
Does that happen
so
often to people?
no, but you don't like. There's really no room for error. So
Yeah.
you know, my instructor in Mexico, he told us a story where he basically passed out underwater, and his dive buddy dragged him to the surface and then did CPR on him. And if he'd been by himself, he wouldn't be here.
And
And
he
those
still
stories
dives.
are the stuff you need to hear as like an aspiring
Yeah. True.
diver because you just have to respect the stuff.
Yeah.
Um, it's like great what you can do with those things, but you also, have to be respectful.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, I guess you have to tell those stories, but also like if I was that guy, I would not be back in the water. I don't know. I
Oh,
guess he just loves it so much.
yeah, and he, that's his job. He's like, uh, yeah,
I don't know.
sometimes they're like, there's this great book, like a bunch of stories by divers. It's called Close Calls,
Okay.
and I devoured that book. Not out of sort of a morbid like wanting to see how people almost died, but really more of a the with those close calls, those people actually came back, you know,
Yeah. Learning
and lived to
lessons.
tell the tale. A lot of times when there are fatalities, we try to sort of figure out, what happened. We look at their dive computer, we look at the kind of the what situation they were in, and then try to surmise, like, oh, we think this or that happened.
Right.
But in that close calls book, people were like, oh, I made some rookie mistake here, or it was hubris, and they just thought they were, more amazing than they actually were. And
Yeah.
um, so I think it's great to like learn from other people, and they have to be like confident enough to like share stories like that, because
Yeah.
that was a screw up on his part, and
Right.
to then go out and tell these stories, it's like you're kind of admitting that you messed up,
Yeah.
but it's extremely valuable for someone like me who's just getting into it, uh, to just be like, oh shit, like this is the guy that I'm training with, that he's got a crazy amount of experience. This happened to him like 2, 3 years ago.
Right. Can happen to
Um,
anybody.
yeah. So now every time I'm like diving and I'm like in the sort of getting into the same situation, which is basically like you're in the process of surfacing, I'm like, watch your computer. Make
Yeah.
sure that you know what's going on, because you're not going to feel it. There's not going to be a headache, or you're not going to feel like, oh, I can't breathe. It's just
Oh,
all of a sudden
really?
it's lights out. Yeah. Yeah.
Damn. All
Um,
right. That's something that I'm gonna stay away from. I think I'll just do the surface level stuff. I mean,
yeah.
it looks fun, and maybe I'll do it sometime for like fun, do like a little dive, but it's very, there's a lot that goes into it that nobody really thinks about. Probably even when people watch the like Animal Planet or Blue Planet under the water, like you don't think about how many people it took to get that shot, or like you said, the team to light things. There's like so many elements that go into these things.
And how long it took. I think the
Right.
the shooting ratio, I can't remember. I feel like I've heard something like takes 20 days of shooting for 4 minutes that end up on the screen, you know?
Damn.
And a lot of times you just want to get that cool shot. My Net Geo buddy, he's like, oh, we're gonna go to this place in the middle of nowhere, and we have to film this particular interaction.
Right.
So it's not just like, oh, we found this like really rare
Right.
species. Now we have to get these amazing shots of this rare species like flirting with each other or something, you
Yeah.
know?
Which is like, it might happen, it might not. They might spend 20 days and they
Yep.
didn't get it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Um,
Well, I mean, yeah, I think one thing that I learned is that I'm not going to be diving anytime soon, but yeah, I think we should wrap it up. So, I mean,
nice.
when do you think the pigeon documentary is going to come out? If you had to
Um,
guess.
we're probably looking at another like 4 months, probably of post, I would say.
Okay.
Um, just because everyone's like doing stuff on the side. We have a composer. He's working on stuff when he has time, and then I'm like running downstairs to like work on the audio when I have some spare time. So it'll probably be another 4 or 5 months before that's like ready to go.
Sweet. Well, that'll be cool. Are you going to do like film festivals, you think, with it, or?
Yeah, that's the plan. Um,
Nice.
to get it into some film festivals.
Cool. Well, we're going to have to find another underwater shoot for us to do. Maybe we'll have to make some sort of pitch to somebody or do some sort of spec to get going again.
Yeah. No, the stuff you guys did with the Olympians, like the edits look great.
Yeah, it was a lot
So
of fun. I
yeah,
mean, I would love to do more of that. It's hard to, like you said, right now with everybody shifting gears. I think we've found that a lot of the big projects have been put on hold for now, at least.
Yeah.
And so I think things like that, even though they want to do them, they're doing like more micro stories with like maybe the one or two camera people that are just like they live close to them, or
Hmm.
it's like they like Tier, for instance, they do a lot of CrossFit stuff.
Yeah.
And I think they're doing more of that because it's like less equipment needed. Somebody can just go film somebody working out in a gym or at like a CrossFit competition. And I mean, I want to pitch more of that stuff, but I think right now, until people get their budgets back together, it's hard to pitch those bigger things.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I've been watching their stuff on Instagram, and there's a lot of CrossFit just because it takes less production value, you know.
Yeah. And there's
Um,
more of it. I think there's
yeah,
more people that are really good at it. And the like Olympic swimming, obviously. And the CrossFit thing is probably an easier market to get people to buy product. Like once you buy a swimsuit and goggles, how
it's
often do
like,
you need to buy a
why
swimsuit
do
and
you need
goggles?
another one? Yeah,
Yeah. So I bet that's part of it too, is that the CrossFit market spends a lot on like shorts and shoes, and they go to competitions more often.
yeah, and there's just probably more of them than
Yeah,
swimmers, you know.
true.
So it's like Apple selling cell phones, you know.
Yeah,
They just like, hey, there's a lot of people that want cell phones. Not everyone wants a laptop, not everyone wants a tablet, but
right.
everyone wants a phone. So
It's true.
let's get their $1,000, you know.
Yeah. I guess those are the markets to look at, is the people that are selling products that people need and want and are always going to keep buying, as far as like creating video for.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the move at the moment. But I appreciate you coming on. This is
Yeah, thanks
awesome.
for having me.